Netflix suffered a shock to the system after Brazil stuck it to them where it hurts, the bank, with a tax that actually sank the Netflix stock. But folks, it's time for Netflix to fight back. And what are they going to do? Double down in the domestic market. Will they get rid of the crazy kid controversial content? Well, maybe. But one thing is less hazy now. Stranger Things and other things like K-pop Demon Hunters coming to a cinema near you. Will Netflix get completely into bed with AMC? And what does that mean? Will Disney dread what's coming their way? A video of excellence. That's on the way. Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Keeping you ahead of the culture curve is what we do here on the Pro Channel, and we love what we do. A passion, a zeal that even the Holly Weirds can feel. And yes, Drive-By Dinosaur Legacy Media, get your jumbo pencils ready. It's time for tomorrow's headlines today. Folks, we've got something to say about the Netflix deal. They are getting ready to try to steal away some of that market share this holiday season from Avatar, Fire and Ash. That's Disney's movie. And they're going to try to crash the party with Stranger Things, the 2-hour-plus series finale, going to the silver screen. Click that like button. Give us a comment down below. Tell us what you mean to say. And let's dive in. Here we go. James Hibbert has this one, and we have to give credit where credit is due. Although we told you about it, and we were speculating, Matt Bellany of Puck, P-U-C-K News, actually had the very first scoop on it. So listen, we give the due when it's due. Do the due. Netflix's Stranger Things series finale officially coming to theaters despite previous statements. The streamer, that's Netflix, has confirmed that the hit show's finale will be in theaters after previously seeming to shoot down the idea amid the show's creators, the Duffer Bros, defecting to Paramount. They would have been nuts not to do it. They want to get the Duffer Brothers back at some point. That's what this is. Netflix's previously stated plan not to release the series finale of Stranger Things into theaters has been turned upside down. The streamer announced Thursday that the highly anticipated feature-length ending to the coming-of-age sci-fi hit will get a theatrical release after all. The screenings of the Season 5 closer will take place in more than 350 theaters in the U.S. and Canada, starting December 31st at 5 p.m. Pacific time to the finale's global premiere on Netflix, and will run through January 1st, 2026. Sounds like either 24 or 48 hours, not enough for us, but hey, might be enough to lift AMC. The quote is, "We're beyond excited that fans will have the chance to experience the final episode of Stranger Things in theaters. It's something we've dreamed about for years, and we're so grateful to Ted, Bella, and everyone at Netflix for making it happen," said the Duffer Brothers. "Getting to see it on the big screen with incredible sound, picture, and a room full of fans feels like the perfect, dare we say, witchin' way to celebrate the end of this adventure." So this one's going to AMC, and I think that Disney's getting off a little bit scot-free here, because had this been put in theaters for 2 weeks, in the AMC theaters for 2 weeks, I think this really would have put a dent in Avatar. As is, with as little time as it's going to get to play on the big screen, I'm not sure this is going to have a big impact. But I will say, panel, as we go to the discussion of this, one of the things that's happening here is Netflix is trying to find a way to secure itself. Netflix dropped about 10% after the news that Brazil had hit them with a massive tax. And it's reminding a lot of these streaming services that the US of A is still the safest place to play. But Netflix is basically, I don't know that they're fully saturated, but they're in most of the households in the United States. So they got to find a way to grow beyond that point. And it's looking like one of those ways might be to have a dual system where not only can you watch Netflix in your home, but you might be able to use your subscription to go watch it in theaters as well. This is a big, big deal. Maybe not the way we had hoped. 2 weeks in theaters would have definitely doused Disney and Avatar's hopes, but 48 hours is a nice test run. I wish we could have more fun for longer. Panel, what say you when it comes to Stranger Things, a 2-hour series finale now available in AMC theaters? Bash, not so quickly now.
Well, no, I think this is actually a great idea right here, because look, I understand, Netflix's business model, and I think Ted Sarandos has talked about it before, how it's like, oh no, we think that theaters are a dying industry and so forth. We want to go ahead and grow the streaming business and all of that. But look, if theatrical is still around and you can make ancillary income from the theatrical model, and you can get creatives to work with you if you give them assurances that you will actually premiere their movies in theaters, at least for a short period of time. And you can make cultural headway by having some projects in theaters because let's be honest, I mean, outside of Stranger Things and some of these, big series that Netflix does showcase, there's no question about that. They do make cultural headway, but sometimes that's limited if you just keep it on streaming, especially for those mid-tier projects and lower and so forth. So to provide an additional revenue stream by having these playing theatrical, and obviously theaters are desperate enough to actually take on these deals. I think it is a win-win, and I think it is a win for fans. We've seen this actually in the anime model, which Netflix has been more akin to in recent years. We've seen they'll take a couple of episodes of a certain anime, they'll put those into theaters as a theatrical film, and they actually have done pretty well at the box office. So perhaps Netflix is taking notes on that as well.
Culture, what do you think about the idea of Netflix? And I'm not saying that they're doing this yet. I'm just putting this out there, and maybe they're listening and they'll get an idea on it. Culture, what do you think about the idea of a Netflix, which seems to be a little bit beleaguered by some of their controversial kids content, saving themselves a bit by putting a new system out there? You get a QR code on your phone if you're a Netflix subscriber. You go to AMC Theaters, and maybe there's one screen that's kind of dedicated to Netflix stuff. You show the QR code, you get in there for half price or maybe less. You still get to buy the popcorn and the drink, and so AMC's happy. What do you think about that idea going into 2026?
I think this was a genius idea when you first described it the other day. I think it works across the board. Hey, it's a $5 flick or whatever, sponsored by Netflix, and you do exactly that. It gives you a chance to go to. Some of these theaters have very nice restaurants that I prefer to eat at. So, having access to the food and the flick is great. And for something like this, it's extra special. This is something that I think people will benefit from being able to see on the biggest possible screen. So I'm a little bummed, like you are, that it's not more. It's not done in a larger way. I really wish they'd done all of the last episodes of this in the theaters. It would conk out and expose the lack of quality in theaters very, very quickly, because people would be going to see this and not seeing fire
Avatar.
and ash.
Yeah. And culture, the theaters need this too, because going into January, this is going to be a dearth. I don't know why Netflix wouldn't. I get they want people to watch it on the streaming service, but seriously,
and it's worse than even you're describing. It's going to be a bloodbath. It's going to be a repeat of this last year. From January through March, there will be very, very low box office numbers. We're going to be looking at desperation by the time we get to March. And remember, that kind of continued into April already.
Yeah, 100%. Nat, what do you think about what this says for streaming if a streaming show's finale is arguably a bigger deal than, Disney's big blockbuster, and the only thing that's saving the blockbuster is the fact that they're going to keep this thing on the screen for 48 hours at most?
I mean, we also saw it with K-pop Demon Hunters, and I think your idea is great about having Netflix subscribers being able to go to the theaters and watch a finale, or maybe just, I don't know, a movie from Netflix. Because I sometimes go to the theater just for the popcorn. I used to go watch just random movies just because I wanted to eat popcorn. But we've also seen that people are willing to go to movie theaters to watch re-releases, to watch Harry Potter, or a special event of XYZ, because of that communal experience, and with Minecraft too, with the younger kids. So I think it is a good way to push people into that movie theater experience. And it also shows that the movies that aren't getting a good box office might be because they're just not good movies, and they're not well made, acted, or produced.
Wow. Yeah.
It's really interesting to think about all this, because I remember it was 10 to 15 years ago, Bob Iger had talked with the National Association of Theater Owners, or NATO as it's called. It's not a great acronym nowadays, but there you go. He was talking to them and saying, hey, look, listen, can we get day and date releases for our films so that it's available? This is before the streaming era really takes off, but where streaming is just emerging, physical media is still kind of a dominant force in the industry. So it's like, okay, could you take your ticket if you bought into a movie on the day and go to like a vending machine afterwards and like have it scanned and then have a physical release of that film be available that day, discounted with your ticket. That was kind of the idea they were conceiving back at the time. So there have been ideas that are kind of rumbling through the industry for a long time, actually, to rethink this business model right here. And I do like that modern iteration, Pro. I think you're on something right there.
Yeah, and the thing is, too, as we said, I mean, Netflix has nearly reached saturation in the domestic market, and they've got to know now with what happened with Brazil. I mean, for folks who want to know the deep dive into what went down with Brazil, go check out the Patreon, www.patreon.com/WDW Pro. I explain how this Brazilian tax just absolutely smacked Netflix and dropped their stock like 10%. It's causing all of these entertainment industry companies to realize they survive in the USA and a few other countries that are safe, but Netflix has to find a way to grow here. So, Mo, if we go to the way they've done that, they've got the AMC deal. They also, by the way, are trying their best to get K-pop Demon Hunters growing in a way that I don't think they would have done before. And they got to get rid of the controversial kids content. I got that. But, like the Hollywood Reporter is talking about how they've done this deal now, unprecedented, where Mattel and Hasbro both are going to be making K-pop Demon Hunters toys. They're going to be getting that stuff out there next year. So, Mo, they're finding their way forward to grow beyond being just a streamer. And I think that's the only place they can go now.
Yes, and I think they should grow it like they had with their with their online streaming. As if people remember, Netflix was primarily you get DVDs in the mail or you get Blu-ray in the mail, and oh yeah, guess what? We have some movies, because the original online Netflix was not remarkable. It was pretty awful, actually. But it was a cool idea, and they let that grow naturally, and they let the rental of physical media go by the wayside naturally. So if they're smart, they will let that grow the same way. They will let interest grow naturally and organically so that you have a solid foundation. And it appears to be that's what they're doing. They're listening to the fans, at least in this respect, with their kids' content. They need to work on that quite a bit. But as far as this goes, they're doing a good job of understanding what works and what will help them grow even larger as a company in the in the theater chains, in the toy chains, and things like that. So I think what they're doing is very smart business wise. They're not jumping headfirst into it. They're understanding how it works, and they're building on top of their knowledge by building a really solid idea with how they're going to release their IPs going forward. So if we're talking business aspect, they're doing a great job.
They need a content flywheel. I think that's what's missing right here, and they're trying to establish it in various realms and so forth. But
they've missed some
real flywheel.
They've missed some opportunities, Vash. I mean, oh my gosh, what is his name? He plays Thor. Anyway, the pretty guy with
Chris
muscles.
Hemsworth.
The Extraction.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, sorry, Mo. I'm sorry. I didn't know you were on Netflix now, but I do know that you cover things that are on Netflix. But
he's the next Indiana Jones. You'll give him the respect he deserves.
Okay, fair enough. But if they would have turned Extraction into a theatrical franchise, I think they would have benefited greatly. And it's like, they've had stars, they've had opportunities that they haven't capitalized on because they just count on you or the algorithm finding you, for something you might enjoy. They had another, action kind of heist kind of fun thing with Ryan Reynolds called Six Underground, I think. And there was a lot there. And they've just never taken advantage of that. And this is one of the ways they could. They could release their own films, and they should. And Amazon's wasting what they have as well, but that's a different conversation. So.
Well, I mean, K-pop Demon Hunters, what? I think Pro, we just actually covered it on that Park Place, the costumes, right? The top trending Halloween costumes.
For Halloween,
for 2025, yeah. And K-pop Demon Hunters dominated that top 15 list. How many people would like to dress up as their favorite Stranger Things characters or K-pop Demon Hunter characters, utilizing merch and accessories and so forth they get from Netflix? That's the thing. They just don't have that kind of consumer products pipeline or that that those auxiliary revenue streams set up properly in a way to really capitalize on this film and IP product that they produce on Netflix itself.
That's right. Help the folks out there dress up like Dusty Buns, because if you do that, you're going to get the win. K-pop Demon Hunters too. But poor Disney, they're stuck, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, who wants to dress up as Pedro this year? Honestly.
Pedro.
Good night, game over, drive home safely. Folks, this video is done. But before we all head home, we only ask one thing. Folks, as you get ready to head on out, consider clicking that like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to those pesky algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment down below and share your thoughts, for a mind is a terrible thing to waste. Waste not that beautiful personality of yours. And folks, we would say, as you get ready to head out the door, that it has been an honor to spend time with you, an attitude of gratitude each and every time that you elect to join together with us. Breaking bread and breaking entertainment, well, the industry. No, we like entertainment. It's the industry that irks us sometimes. Well, it was a good time. We hope you had a good time. Folks, until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun. Jump into the water!
Why listen to music made by people and companies who really don't like you? Check out Vacation Radio today and prepare for all new content made by the people behind the WDW Pro Channel. It's the place you need for all the music. That should be fun. Hundreds of songs, every genre you can imagine. Listen live on YouTube and enjoy a set list that's always sunny. It's Vacation Radio. What are you waiting for? Every WDW Pro video has a link to Vacation Radio in the video description. Try it out and subscribe today.